What rights do animals have exactly? Who defends those rights and what happens to people who break the law? Are we all guilty of indifference to suffering if we eat meat, wear leather or go to the zoo? To answer your questions in iTalk today, our guest is Michel Vandenbosch, the president of Gaia. What is Gaia?
Global Action in the Interest of Animals is an animal rights association set up in Belgium, but we're also part of the Eurogroup for animals,
which is a pan-European movement. Your question straight away with the first question by webcam on iTalk.
I'm Thibaut from Brussels. I have a question on intensive chicken farming in battery cages. I want to know if it's still legal and if there's any legislation about it.
Well, that's a really European question because EU legislation has recently changed.
Yeah, absolutely, but that's for laying hens. So conventional battery cages have been illegal since the 1st of January this year. But so-called enriched cages...
What does that mean?
They're cages which are a tiny bit bigger and have a nesting box. But to get to there, the hens have to queue up. And there's some stuff to peck, but nothing for a chicken to scratch in. What we want to see is legislation banning all cage systems so that we have systems with no cages.
Nous arrivons à une législation qui interdit tous les systèmes de cage pour arriver à des systèmes hors cage. Et tout ça, ça existe.
But that would cost too much, that's what they say.
Nous avons déjà...
No, not true. We've already persuaded big companies like Unilever, for example, and Calvé Mayonnaise, and in Belgium there are lots of supermarkets which have stopped using battery eggs in their processed foods.
D'utiliser donc des œufs de cage dans leurs produits transformés.
But that's Belgium, not all over Europe. But at least it's a step forward, isn't it?
Déjà, et c'est vrai
in Great Britain too, and it's true that you have to start somewhere.
Another question for Michel Vandenbosch.
Bonjour, je suis Gaspard.
Hello, I'm Gaspard from Brussels. If I know my neighbour mistreats an animal, can I report him to the police? Can he be punished by law?
Is there any European legislation on maltreating animals?
No, not European. This is dealt with at member state level. But in Belgium and in all the other countries of the EU, there's legislation.
So you can go to the police and say, my neighbour mistreats his dog?
Absolutely, but you have to have proof, of course.
What proof?
What proof? Well, the police can investigate on the basis of a statement. But it isn't always easy. It's not the same everywhere. In Belgium, for example, the maximum penalty is 6 months in prison. But in France, it's more severe, up to 2 years.
S'élève à 2 ans d'emprisonnement. Mais au niveau de la maltraitance...
But at the level of mistreatment, since the Lisbon Treaty, animals have been considered by the EU as sensitive beings, and when drawing up legislation in, say, transport and agriculture, then their status as sensitive beings has to be taken into account.
Entièrement de ce nouveau statut des animaux sensibles.
Another question on animal rights.
Hello, my name is Manolo from Spain. My question is there legislation at the European level on welfare of animals in zoos? If so, how can we protect these animals?
Y si esto es así, ¿cómo se actúa para proteger a estos animales? Muchas gracias.
That's a bit more complicated because it's in the interest of zoos to treat their animals well.
So they say. But there's a European directive setting out the broad principles of animal treatment.
Qui indique en fait en grande ligne plutôt ce qu'il faut faire pour bien traiter les animaux.
So animals are well treated in European zoos?
Parce qu'il existe une loi.
Just having the legislation doesn't mean that zoo animals are all well treated. The best zoos, which have evolved, no longer keep wild animals in cages. Increasingly, they try to imitate the animal's natural environment. And that's a lot better. Having said that, above all, in Eastern Europe, there are still enormous problems where animals are badly treated and zoos take no notice of their needs for well-being.
Another question by webcam.
Hello, I'm Maria from Spain. I'm a member of the animal protection association La Garda, and I want to ask what real concrete action your group is taking against bullfighting in Europe.
It's a very Spanish question, but Spanish attitudes are changing, like in Catalonia.
Absolutely. Catalonia has forbidden bullfights. They started by banning them in Barcelona. So it's clear, and I think it's very positive, that the Spanish themselves have started to get together and work towards banning bullfighting. It's a good thing. And they are helped and supported by associations like Gaia and others, of course, to help these people and help the Spanish to put an end for once and all to the shameful display they call bullfighting.
À ces gens, à ces Espagnols, pour en finir une bonne fois pour toutes avec ces spectacles vraiment honteuses qui s'appellent les corridas.
Okay, another question on animal rights.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Félix.
Hello, I'm Felix and I'm from Brussels. Is there legislation against the fur industry in Europe?
Fourrure en Europe?
Where are we on the question of fur? I imagine you're against it.
Of course. Great Britain banned the breeding of animals for fur in 2003, and Austria banned it in 2005. Here in Belgium, we're lobbying to have it banned too.
En 2005. Mais non, bon, nous, en Belgique, nous luttons donc pour faire interdire les élevages d'animaux à fourrure.
And ban fur coats, perhaps, and other fur products too?
Absolutely.
Is that realistic?
C'est une question de temps, hein. Mais ce qui est clair, c'est qu'une grande...
It's just a question of time, but it's clear that the majority, I'm not talking about Scandinavian countries, but a large majority...
Why are they special?
Les pays scandinaves...
Scandinavian countries breed the most for fur, which makes the fight very difficult there. But having said that, our colleagues in Finland, especially, are trying to lead the way and get some legislation passed. But once again, that will be dealt with at member state level. And we will continue to lobby so that breeding animals for fur is ended for once and for all.
Another question here on iTalk.
Solène Leroy from Belgium. Do politicians listen to animal rights groups like Gaia?
You lobby at European level?
Tout à fait. Donc, en faisant partie donc, de l'Eurogroup...
Absolutely. As part of the Eurogroup for Animals, we do a lot of lobbying and awareness raising among MEPs.
Which ones? What do you do?
All right. An example, the EU banned trading in seal products in 2009. Belgium was the first member state to do it in 2007, and the EU followed suit. This ban would never have happened without the efforts of European associations, which worked together and fought together to get this ban. Canada wasn't very pleased, but since 2009 it has saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of seals from a horribly cruel death.
Abattu de manière tellement cruelle.
And now we'll take a last question from iTalk.
Bonjour.
Hello, my name is Jean. I'm French from Brittany.
My
question to Gaia is, how much is Gaia involved with the European network of other animal associations, the SPA in France and others in the UK, Spain, Portugal, to create a network and lobby European institutions that much harder?
Does such a network exist?
Absolutely. And this gentleman is completely right. We have to work together. We absolutely have to become stronger and stronger together.
Michel Vandenbosch, thank you. You can find a list of forthcoming subjects on iTalk on the Euronews website, and you can ask all the questions you like, and I'll do my best to get you the right answers. See you soon from the European Parliament here in Brussels.